What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a good week and I hope you're having a good Valentine's Day. I'm going to talk about three stories real quick. We'll probably make it under an hour this stream, maybe even less. And the three stories of the day are Jussie Smollett. I want to talk about the mainstream media, the lack of covering of the story, and also where some people are getting it wrong. I don't like to use anonymous sources on either side, although I will say that I have some deep intel on this as well. We'll get into that. Jussie Smollett, is it a hoax? Is it not? Has it been solved yet? Is it still under investigation? Let's talk about that, and we'll talk about the realest stuff from it. Then we're going to go on to Mars had a bad week. The planet Mars had two major operations really fall apart this week. The first one being Mars One, which was an organization that said it was going to do a reality show on the moon. I'm sorry, on Mars, went bankrupt. And also the Mars rover has died. So not a good week for Mars. Maybe Elon Musk can help out. Maybe not. Third thing I want to talk about is Amazon, New York City, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez clash. They pretty much scared Amazon out of putting new, like $3 billion worth of property and business into New York City. We're going to talk about that, maybe why that happened, and also how, if you raise the taxes to 70% on the billionaire class, sounds good in theory, but the only problem is the government can waste that money within an hour. And also, rich people and companies don't have to stay in your state, just like California, who raises the tax rate, loses most businesses to China more than any other state because it's just basic economics and common sense. It's great to tax the rich. It's definitely great to help out the poor, of course, of course, of course. But if you don't really plan it out, it's not going to be the best move. So let's wait about a minute or two for everyone to get into the live stream. Let's see, maybe we'll listen to a little bit of Bob Ross on Valentine's Day. I don't know if I have a love song for y'all, so we'll just Bob Ross out, wait for people to get in as we always do, and then we're going to start it up pretty quickly today because I don't want to take too much of your Valentine's Day. Hopefully you guys have something special. If not, you're like me at your computer. Although I will say I'm probably going to go out later. While I'm at it, let me charge my phone real quick and we'll play some Robert Ross, a.k.a. Bob Ross. You already know. I'm not going to lie. I see the shit y'all saying sometimes. It's just, I'm chilling, painting birds like I don't even see it. You feel me? Bob Ross, you'll never see me tripping. Got the vision, I don't even need assistance. Bob Ross, all I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real. Bob Ross, I be too calm for the drama. You don't want to cause a problem. I'll solve it. Let's get our workouts in. All I do is win. Let's work out. Let's all stretch together. Come on, stretch gang. Your girl eat me up like Chex Mix. You already know. Watch me all the time like Netflix. Bob Ross, let me take it down slow. Let me break it down low. Holla, holla. I done come up from the basement. I done struggle from the pavement. Came up high, I feel Jamaican till my eyes switch to the matrix. We are all just human. Shout out Puerto Rican, French, and Haitian. I just say it. Stretch gang. Let's all stretch. Come on. Someone for a reason. They ain't choosing so disgraceful. I be painting birds and clouds like I don't see the shit y'all saying. Please embrace me. Need two girls when I need time for some occasions. Yeah, I'll take it double up like I invested on my savings. Bob Ross, you'll never see me. We stretching, guys. We stretching. I don't even need assistance. Bob Ross, all I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real. Bob Ross, I'll be too calm for the drama. You don't want to cause a problem. Gotta stretch. I didn't stretch enough today, so we're stretching together. Someone said tired. Hope I could watch tomorrow. Not, you missed it. No, I'm just playing. It's all good. Let's start it up because I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do like to wait for people to get in. So we're gonna listen to what Jussie Smollett said, and we're gonna try to be, as always. Wait, oh no. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna run real quick because I forgot my big mason jar of water. And you guys know it's not a real podcast if I can't drink from my huge mason jar. So I got to get that. Give me like a couple seconds. Water gang. Come on. Chug with me, boys and girls and women and men. Woo. That was scary. That was not what we wanted. Okay. I thought it was a drought. So the Jussie Smollett story has been pretty crazy if you guys have been following. I never like to jump the gun and say you're lying, it's a hoax, because there are bad people, of course, on both sides. But the story really didn't add up from the very beginning. First, he said, I guess he went out at 2 o'clock at a Subway and he got attacked by MAGA Trump supporters and they hated him and they tied a rope around his neck and he got, bleach poured on him. And, it was like, well, I left it on my neck and I didn't call the police for 2 hours. The story just wasn't adding up. And I'm not somebody who doesn't like to believe someone, but I got some intel earlier today before all the stories broke. And let's just be honest, it's not definite yet. You have a lot of flip-flopping and anonymous sources. And when people report on Trump with anonymous sources, we don't like it. So why would we play that game when it's Jussie Smollett? I understand, a lot of Trump supporters don't believe him, but that's the same. I don't play these games that other Trump supporters do. They claim like they're pro free speech. And then the second it's somebody that they don't want to speak, they use the same leftist tactics against them. They're like, turn their Twitter off. We want to pressure them. I'm a real free speech advocate. I'm not a phony conservative who just, sucks up donor money and tries to get on Fox TV and just say what the conservatives and, conservative NPCs want to say. And I'm not trying to bully anyone. I'm just saying, and I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but the difference between someone who's a true patriot and actually stands up for free speech rather than a lot of these people who are only pro free speech when it goes in their favor. And then all of a sudden they're the first ones trying to get someone deplatformed, including like the intellectual dark web. They're like, take Trump's Twitter away, take Trump's Twitter away. It's like, what? Let's not say we did, bros. Anyway, so the Smollett situation, you have to understand, everyone's saying it's over and it's for sure a hoax. I think it is. I think we're going to find out eventually that it is a hoax, but let it play out because right now it's still in the balance. And Trump supporters are like, look, see, we got you. And it's not true. It's a lot of anonymous sources. But here's what I want to analyze because here's why I think he's lying. And I think it's going to come out that he is lying. And it may have been a big giant hoax like people are saying. It's just not as confirmed now by the police or anything. It's a lot of sourcing and reporting. Report, source, report. I reported on the source. I sourced the report. That's not good reporting. With anything, I want camera footage. I want evidence. I want to see it with my own eyes. I want to hear it from the police department. I don't want you quoting the police department and then the police department says, oh, no, I didn't say that. That's just a load of malarkey. And that's what's going on now. So people are jumping the gun a little bit. But I do think he lied. Let's listen to why I think he lied. First of all, let's listen to what he says. I got a clip of him now on one of the shows, and listen to what Jussie Smollett says. And I'm just being honest, whether they're a Trump supporter or a liberal that clearly has Trump derangement syndrome, here's how you could kind of tell a liar. We're gonna decode it, and let me know what you think.
Telling his story. I'm pissed off. What is it that has you so angry? Is it the attackers?
It's the attackers, but it's also the attacks. It's like, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth. Mm-hmm. Then it became a thing of like, oh, how can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? It's the truth. And then it became a thing of like, oh, it's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth. You don't even want to see the truth.
What happened that night, Chuck?
All right, so let's get into this stuff. All right, so you got to understand, regardless of if you're a Trump supporter or you're a liberal media, gay superstar, on Empire, whatever, title you want to take, it doesn't matter to me. You have to understand this, and this is where I find phonies on both sides, but especially this guy. You're saying you got attacked at 2 a.m. by two Trump supporters. The story doesn't really add up. There's 30,000 cameras, according to New York Times. There's cameras everywhere in Chicago. Literally, like, there's not a corner anymore that doesn't have cameras on it. So even if Jussie Smollett was telling the truth, I would understand. But maybe this is what separates me from a lot of people. I'm not a two-faced, bold liar, and I'm not like full of myself in that way. If I had no evidence like he did, what I would say if I had a 60 Minutes is I would say, I understand why people don't believe me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little understanding and compassionate where it's like, no. I understand why people wouldn't believe me. I'm getting all the evidence I possibly can. We're gonna find these people. You know, we're searching all the cameras. We're doing detective work. Like, I'm gonna prove to you that I'm not lying. It's, you know, that's how I would think. But his whole demeanor, to me personally, and I've backed him up. I haven't backed him up for a while. I've kind of thought the whole thing was a lie, but I try to be as fair as possible. It's like, if you come into it saying it's the truth, you don't even want to believe the truth. If I say it's the truth, it's the truth. That sounds like a lie to me, because anybody who does this situation, whether you're on the right wing or the left wing, whether I love you or I don't really know who you are, you got to know that people want evidence. I mean, it's just obvious. So just the fact that he's like, dude, if I say it, it's true. It's the truth. And you don't want to. No, dude, it's not. We're not saying you're lying. What we're saying is, show us the proof, not I'm truthful. And if you dare disagree with it, then, you know, shame on you. Like, that's his whole attitude. It's like, bro, if you have any sort of self-awareness at all, you'd understand that a lot of people don't necessarily believe you. And that's okay if you're a person who wants to show proof, but that's the new leftist thing. We're going to listen to what Joe Budden, a rapper, says about him, because he's questioning him too. But it's like, the left is like, believe all women. You have to believe me. It's my truth. You know, they're rebranding the truth. Truth is evidence, facts, blatant reality that you can't disprove. But since there's not a lot of that on the left anymore, they have to say, it's my truth. You don't believe my truth? We said it on CNN 100 times. How could you not believe it? Show us the evidence. There's 30,000 cameras. And I'm telling you, I have intel. Not going to say from where or who. And I don't like to do this when I don't tell you this if it's not true. But let's just say I knew that the story was going to break today before it broke. And I'm still not going to fully break it, because I want the evidence either way. And we're not fully there yet. But I want the police department to come out and say, listen, it might be like, when this is all said and done, I'm not saying for sure. This is a report and a source like the news. Let's just say there's a high chance that it might be a total setup from top to bottom. Like, you know, it's just as bad as a lot of people think, I think. But like I said, we'll see. Let's see what Joe Budden, rapper, says, because Joe Budden is actually someone who's not politically correct, and he's not a total liar like a lot of rappers are.
Don't believe none of that story. I waited a week.
You know what?
I waited a week. They found Cousin Harold in an hour. They show you the footage of everybody. I waited a week to see. Listen, wait, hold on. Let me respond to Deani. Let me respond, because I've been unable to respond to Deani in an articulate manner. What I'm saying is, famous people, famous rich people, when bad things happen and they want to cover the story, because famous rich people do fuck shit sometimes, and you want to cover
human beings.
Yeah, like humans. You cover the story so you can protect your image, your likeness, and your career. I don't know if we feel the same way if we find out it's a regular crime. So let me give you and Scotty what's floating around on Reddit.
So Joe's weighed in on that. That's Joe Budden. He's got a podcast or whatever. He's weighed in on that a little bit. And he's just saying, for a while, he's like, dude, I'm not buying this stuff. Let's listen to more Jussie Smollett. And like I said, the story's going to come out. It's one of those ones they're going to try to sweep under the rug. They're not going to be able to. But I do want to say two things right now. One, all the conservatives saying that it's for sure a hoax, the reporting's not there yet. It's just not. And if this was Trump, the left wing would be doing the same thing. It's all anonymous reporting so far, but it probably will come out. But I think we should wait until it does. That's why I'm doing this. Let's listen to him more.
When I landed in Chicago, and Frank Gatson, who's like my uncle, and he's also my creative director, and he picked me up. And then we got back to the apartment. There was no food. And so I went out to Walgreens thinking that they were 24 hours and to have a smoke. Walgreens was closed. So I called him up and I said, hey, I'm going to run to Subway, which was across the street. And I'm going to get a salad. Do you want anything? I went to the Subway and got the order. During that time, I texted my manager thinking that he was still in Australia because he was on an Australian tour with one of his other clients. Mm-hmm. I said, yo, call me when you can. He called me immediately. And while he was on the phone, I heard, as I was crossing the intersection, I heard Empire. And I don't answer to Empire. My name ain't Empire. And I didn't answer. I kept walking, and then I heard Empire. So I turned around and I said, did you just say to me? And I see the attacker masked. And he said, this MAGA country, punches me right in the face. So I punched his ass back. And then we started tussling. You know, it was very icy. And we ended up tussling by the stairs, fighting. There was a second person involved who was kicking me in my back. And then it just stopped. And they ran off. And I saw where they ran. And the phone was in my pocket, but it had fallen out. And it was sitting there. And my manager was still on the phone. So I picked up the phone and I said, Brandon. And he's like, what's going on? And I said, I was just jumped. And then I looked down and I see that there's a rope around my neck, which I hadn't.
You hadn't noticed it before?
No, because it was so fast. You know what
All right, so let's follow his story. First of all, he comes right out the gate and just says, it's the truth. I can't believe people didn't believe the truth. If you don't understand, regardless of your political affiliation, your race, your ethnicity, your financial situation, your celebrity status, if you don't understand that people are going to look for evidence in a city that has 30,000 cameras employed everywhere and they can't find any video footage at all, then something's wrong. That's a red flag. Let's just put it that way. That's a red flag. Then he says, okay, he's getting in a fight. One guy comes up to him with a mask, says it's MAGA country, starts punching him. Someone hits him in the back. His manager's still on the phone, and he's got a rope around his neck, and he didn't realize it. And apparently, according to some of the reports, he kept it on his neck until, the thing just sounds ridiculous. And it's fine. I'm not trying to say it didn't happen, but it probably didn't. People want footage. And the reason I'm talking about this, someone said, people are giving him too much airtime. If it turns out this guy's a hoax, and there's one of multiple options that could be possible. One, of course, it could have happened, although it's looking less and less likely. It could have been a total setup of like a total lie, a total, something for his own situation. Because I'm going to read another, if people don't think that Trump derangement syndrome is this bad, let's Salon Trump sex. This is a Salon article from a day ago. If you guys don't think Trump derangement syndrome is real, has Trump wrecked our sex life? Post-Trump sex disorder is real, says a sex therapist. So there's a registered sex therapist who's going around telling her clients in the mainstream media that Donald Trump has ruined your sex life. Imagine being that much of a psycho that you're blaming Trump for your sex life. Like, you're such a loser. You're such a liar. You're such a deranged liberal psycho that you're like, oh, I can't have sex anymore, and it's Trump's fault. Like, it's you. It's your fault. You're a psycho. You've built your whole creepy matrix around fake news and false reports and late night hosts and celebrities who lie to you. Trump didn't ruin your sex life. It's your fault. Take an ounce of self-accountability in your relationships and your friendships and your work and your sex drive. It's not Donald Trump's fault, you losers. So if people will do that, they'll blame Trump for their sex life. They'll start violence at Trump rallies and blame Trump supporters. They'll make a whole false statement and threaten teenagers on social media. Jack won't, he won't enforce his own policies. They've lied almost every single day for the last 3 years. So excuse me and others if we don't believe it. It's not that we're negative or hateful or nasty. Trust me, no one wants hate crimes. No one wants sexist, racist, xenophobic, homophobic crimes or whatever, empire-phobic crimes. We can make up a new word. The reason we don't believe you is because there's 30,000 cameras in Chicago and there's no video footage. The story sounds absolutely ridiculous. This is coming for somebody who's calling Trump the N-word on his social media a week ago. And they just came off of a 2-year conspiracy theory saying that Trump worked with Russia, which is so far from the truth. They lied on Jimmy Kimmel. They lied on Trevor Noah. They lied on Seth Meyers. They lied on Bill Maher. They lied on Stephen Colbert. They lied on SNL every single night. They lied for 5 2 years. I'm sorry, 2 years straight. So no, like Jay-Z said, we don't believe you. You need more people, to quote Jay-Z. We don't believe you. You need more people. You need more evidence. You need more video footage. You screeched and screamed and cried for 3 years, and you lied about virtually everything, including one of the biggest media hoaxes of the last month, which was the Covington kids, which was misframed, and you had teenagers threatened. We don't believe you, and we want video footage, and we don't want you to sit there and say, how dare people not believe me? How, like, if something happened to me, I would be like, I'm working on making sure you know that this happened. I'm not going to be like, you don't believe me, even though my whole side of the debate is not ridiculous. The Colorado jogger attacked by the mountain lion claimed the cat said this is MAGA country. Yeah, for sure. So I heard someone say Nigeria is MAGA country. Yeah. I went out to Nigeria and it was like MAGA country. They were all just, although I probably, more people than you think probably like Trump in Nigeria, because they, on the whole, when they come to America, they usually do really well. They have families who have self-awareness and self-accountability, and they work hard when they get here. So Nigerians kind of crush it in the United States because their families don't lie to them. They don't say, everybody hates you. The whole world's against you. Everything is everyone else's fault, even though the whole system is literally rigged in your favor and rigged against other races. They don't do that. They come here and they say, this is America. Like Childish Gambino, except they flip it and they say, get a good job, work hard, and you can crush it. Most Nigerians crush it in America. It's just a side note. I like Nigerians and Africans in general. It's like, I like everybody, but I'm just saying there's certain cultures that come to America and they just absolutely slay because it's the mindset. That's what I said in my new song. It's a mindset. They don't want you to find strength. I might flex and raise the children to heights. Yes. I know these rap sites ain't gonna give me that interview because in 10 minutes, I could probably brighten up the interview. They don't want you to have self-awareness. They want you helpless, careless. They want you dead on welfare. They want you bred to bring hell here. The whole song. I see what they're doing. I heard a good, I should play it, but I don't know if I'll find it. It's an Adam Carolla rant about Katy Perry's shoes, but he was basically so mad at liberal media elites because he realizes, like I realized, and there's a lot of people getting frustrated, because it's not just that you're lying to me. It's not just that you're lying about a MAGA hoax. And I'm not saying that is a lie, but it probably is. I'm saying they're lying to millions of kids. They're ruining the Black community. They're trying to destroy women's, they're trying to crush our most vulnerable people who are looking for help and support. Liberals are a poison ideology. So people like me and Adam Carolla were getting fed up because it's like, it's not just me. If you annoyed me, that's one thing. I'll get over it. But you're crushing millions of kids. In Queens and Brooklyn and Bronx and Compton and Watts, these people are looking up to these type of leaders and you're leading them to hell. T said, let me see what T said. Love your point of view, left, right, or in the middle, refreshing. Thank you, T. God bless you. So I want to get into the other stories, and it is Valentine's Day. I want to go try to have fun, meet my late night Valentine. No, I'm just playing, but maybe. So overall, I just want to make it clear with the Jussie Smollett situation, it's not confirmed yet. There's conflicting reports from the media and the police. It's one of those situations I would just wait a few days to really post about it. But that's why I'm doing it here and saying it's kind of falling apart. There's not that much evidence. He's just demanding that people believe him, even though he's not really putting up proof. And my intel says that it may have been a total complete hoax of like a deeper level than people imagine. But I think a lot of people say that. But I'm saying, to be accurate, it's not. Let's wait to see what the Chicago police says. Although it hurts me to be like, trust the Chicago police. They'll tell you. I'm like, Chicago just got voted the most corrupt city by CBS Local. So, surprise, surprise. So anyway, it's just like, tell the truth. And, if this turns out, I'm not saying it is for sure. Thank you, Carolina. I appreciate it. If this does turn out to be a hoax, just like the Russia collusion conspiracy theory, that's a 2-year hoax. What bothers me about this stuff, not even just Jussie, I'm using this as a vehicle to talk about other things. What bothers me is it's not just you're lying to me or millions of working class citizens and trying to crush us. You're destroying the fabric of sanity in this country. You're ruining yourself. You're ruining the children. You're ruining the little bit of freedom and democracy that we do have left in this country that is greater than in other countries. You're ruining everything with your lies and your false liberalism and your fake social justice. You're You got people like Ebro in the morning. He's more worried about a Gucci blackface or what a comedian said 10 years ago than he is about slave trade in Africa or the fact that unemployment's lower or the fact that the ideology and the mindset in the black community is toxic. And that's a huge part for the downfall. Yes, we can blame politicians. Yes, we can blame elites of other races and religions. I'm fine with that. But it's a full circle. And the truth is, one of the most toxic things to the black community and the rap community is the culture and the mindset. There's nothing wrong with black people or black America or, our black youth. But when they look up to rappers and you're telling them, do drugs, sell drugs, kill people, and then people like Bobby Shmurda and Tekashi 6ix9ine actually live that life, they end up in jail. So you're killing the kids. All these songs about pills. We have an epidemic in our communities, and this goes not just for our black community, but our white and, multiracial America, all of Americans. We're having an opioid crisis where kids are overdosing at record rates and a suicide problem. Part of it's social media. Part of it's the fact that we don't have a community anymore. Part of it's the fact that our culture sucks. Rap culture sucks. What they've claimed to be urban culture, what I grew up loving, has turned into a toxic pile of crap. And I'm not blaming just rappers. It's liberal culture in general. The shows suck. The ideology sucks. It's a weak mentality. It's a victim mentality. It's a take no self-accountability or self-responsibility for anything. And that's how you break down a community. That's how you break down a family. That's how you break down a person. You separate the men from the women. You separate the children from the parents. You separate the woman from her, power. You separate the male from his power. You make everyone weak and pathetic. And then you tell them that big government is somehow going to solve all their problems when it's not. And people still don't know. I talk to people and they're like, yeah, they're both corrupt and Republicans are the worst. It's like, dude, Democrats pander to you with social justice and they steal the most money. Rain tax, gas tax, this tax, that tax. Every time their mouth stops moving from their black community pandering, they steal your money every time. And it's not alleviating poverty. It's creating and subsidizing poverty. They are the poverty pimps as people. I get it now. And Republicans aren't perfect either, but the liberals, people are like, dude, they're better than Fox. No, they're not. You guys just don't like Fox, although they can be annoying too and a little, but they'll tell you the blunt truth that you don't want to hear. And you're like, self-accountability, self-awareness, and the truth about all the hoaxes that the media is like, I get it. You don't want to hear it, but someone has to say it. Above Majestic, turn off sports listening to Anomaly. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Sue. Patrick Fowler said, thanks for keeping it real. I love the fact you talk about the slave trade in Africa while the media ignores it. How could you not talk about that? When you talk about, if you talk about women's rights and you're talking about the world, how could you not talk about Iran, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Libya? I mean, certain parts of Africa, even South America. We have different cultures, but the American culture is the most liberal culture. Women can do anything in America. It's the easiest place for women ever, except maybe in South America and Mexico. They'll just let you chill at home and stuff. And they'll do that in the Middle East too. You know what I'm saying? The pros to living in Mexico or the Middle East is you could probably not work as much and just chill with your family. You could do that in the United States too if they weren't making women full-blown psychos. But United States, as far as business and economic and sexual freedom, it's the most free place in the world. You can do anything. You could be a CEO. You can be an Instagram prostitute. You can be a WNBA player. You can be a nurse. You can be a doctor. You can literally change genders and beat the crap out of everybody in volleyball and call yourself the best volleyball player and the female. You can do anything in America. And I'm tired of these people. We stand up for black people worldwide, but they don't want to talk about the Libyan slave trade. And they don't even want to talk about anything. I mean, there's a lot of problems going on in the world. And they're like, Gucci put out a sweatshirt that's you morons are buying $800 sweatshirts. And now you just realize, it's these people are such fake activists, man. It's ridiculous. And not only the reason I go so hard at them is because I do love America and I do love Americans and I do love the black community in America, and they're being lied to. They're being told to buy Gucci, shoot each other, sell drugs, and listen to horrible music. And then the big scoop is there's a sweatshirt with a face on it. It's like, Who the F cares? Worry about economics. Teach the kids about finances. Hashtag learn to code. Hashtag learn marketing and business. You know what I'm saying? Learn anything. Talk to people who are wise. You know, listen to your leaders in your community who want to lift you up, not the ones who put you in a corner and say, you're weak, you're pathetic, you're victimized, you can't do anything. Now, go vote for people who lie to you and steal all your money. That's what they do. But God, thank you, brother. God bless you. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Thank you, God. Next story I want to talk about is Mars. The planet Mars has had a horrible week. And if you follow me or other people, you're probably not surprised. I'm guessing, I don't know, I'm not a space expert, but I'm guessing Mars is going to have, thank you, Sue. Mars is going to have not just a bad week, but I think they're going to have a bad month or a bad year. Because there's a lot of things about this narrative that just aren't adding up. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a well-researched realist who understands that there's some narratives that just aren't adding up. And it's really not scientific. So why isn't Mars having a bad week? Let's read the first one. Mars 1, the plan to make a reality show on Mars is bankrupt. In 2012, Dutch entrepreneur Bas Lansdorp, it's a nice name, Bas Lansdorp, I am Lansdorp, launched the world's first private and crowdsourced effort to create a permanent outpost on Mars. Known as Mars 1, this organization was the focus of a lot of press since its inception. Some good, most of it bad. Looks like I'll save us some time. They're going out of business. Who knows if they ever could have got there anyway? They're like, oops, we just took a bunch of people's money, I guess, and didn't work out. Another story. This is from the Associated Press. NASA rover finally bites the dust on Mars after 15 years. NASA's Opportunity, the Mars rover that was built to operate for just 3 months but kept going and going, rolling across the rocky red soil, was pronounced dead Wednesday, 15 years after it landed on the planet. The six-wheeled vehicle that helped gather critical evidence that ancient Mars might have hospitable life was remarkably spry up until 8 months ago when it finally doomed by a ferocious dust storm. The picture of it on AP is incredibly fake. It's definitely a graphic. It's not a real picture. Just being honest, it's not. Thank you. Above majestic, Mars could have been the home of fallen angels. It could have been. What's made me skeptical of space, and I loathe at the term conspiracy theorist, because people, like with the moon stuff, people can't handle the truth. I don't know the full truth, but I'm just going to say, they say that they had the technology to go to the moon, and then they said that, here, I'll play the clip. This guy is Don Petit. I believe he's NASA's oldest scientist. Let's see, Don Petit Moon. You can listen for yourself. Tell me if this makes sense to you. Maybe it does. Some people message me say, no, anomaly, it makes total sense. Like, they had the technology and we can't go back. I'm not making theories. I'm going to play an actual NASA engineer or scientist, and then we're going to talk about all the things that aren't adding up with space, besides the fact that 2 of the biggest programs on Mars are mysteriously vanishing this week.
There's no such thing as a perfect writer. This is why I use Grammarly to check my work.
If I'm putting
No, we don't have the technology to do that anymore.
All right, sorry. This guy put music to it. It's like, bro, let's relax. We don't need all
No, it's a painful process.
All right, buddy. You don't need all that.
Read between the lines. Take a listen.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
So one of NASA's oldest guys, veteran, he says we'd go back to the moon. Problem is we don't have the technology anymore, but it's a painful process to build back, and we don't have it. So the Mars rover's gone. Mars 1's not happening. Virgin Galactic, I think, took a bunch of money from people to send them to the moon. We'll see if they go through on that. We gave Holland a moon rock, and the moon rock ended up being fake. We told them it was a moon rock. It ended up being petrified wood. That's why I have a lyric in my new song. I said, just know, bro, y'all are faker than a moon rock from NASA. And some people were like, anomaly, don't push conspiracy theories. I'm like, dude, it's a article. I'll Google it right now. Let's see. Moon rock Holland. This is in the the Telegraph, which is a popular British newspaper. It's mainstream media. Moon rock given to Holland by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin is fake. A moon rock given to the Dutch Prime Minister by Apollo 11 astronauts in 1969 has turned out to be a fake. So, are you reading? But like, is this really that crazy for people to even question? Because I'm not telling you to believe anything. There's a lot of different moon and space theories. I have my own skepticisms, but this is what we know for sure. They gave Holland a moon rock, and they did a scientific test on it and found out it was petrified wood. They lied about a moon rock. Thank you, Sue. They lied about a moon rock. They say we had the technology, but somehow when we had no computers or very small computers, like the size of a calculator, however small it was, we went to the moon. Now that we have computers that are literally super smart and can artificial intelligence do things that humans can't do, now all of a sudden it's a painful process to build back again. I'm no scientist, but that doesn't make common sense to me. But people, it's so funny because people will comment on my videos, and I'm glad people do. I don't want you to just agree with me. This isn't a cult, but it's like the mental gymnastics you have to jump around to tell yourself that it makes sense that we had technology to go to the moon in 1969 and in 2019 we don't have the technology or it's too painful. That's the mental gymnastics. I don't know. You could tell yourself that, but it doesn't make sense to me. Telemetry data. And then here, I'm going to read, because people, when I say this stuff, people seem to think that I'm like making it up. Hold on. NASA tapes lost. This is not a conspiracy. This is Reuters. You guys know Reuters? It's mainstream media. It's as mainstream as you can get. From 2009, it says moon landing tapes got erased, NASA admits. The original recordings of the first humans landing on the moon 40 years ago were erased and reused, but newly restored copies of the original broadcast look even better. So they said they taped and lost the original ones, but don't worry because the new ones look even better. Someone said there's a anti-radioactive polymer spray for the Van Allen belt. Earthers know this. I mean, someone said free YNW belly. Listen, I'm not saying it's real or it's not. You can figure out for yourself. But, oh, Sue, thank you so much. God bless you. I appreciate that so much. That's so kind. Do you really? I'm just curious. Like, do you think? And I'm asking the people who follow me because I really do respect you guys, and I like the fact that you have a mind of your own. NASA gets billions of dollars. You don't think they would have tried to preserve the original moon landing tape? If you believe that, I'm not going to make fun of you. They're not just a mom and pop shop that's like a VHS store that's like, oh, we needed to use the tape. Sorry, guys. Like, we needed to get the new Ren and Stimpy was on and we had nothing else. We had to use the moon landing tape. It's a simple mistake. It's the greatest feat in modern American history and potentially the greatest feat in humanity. And they taped out. You really believe that they taped over the tape or that it's just an easy thing to lose? The mental gymnastics you have to do to believe that are insane to me. So when it comes to these two things on Mars, they're saying that we can't build on Mars or it's going bankrupt. And my personal theory, you guys could have your own. I don't think we've ever been to Mars. I don't know that we ever can go to Mars. I'm not convinced the whole thing's not a total misrepresentation, but I'm not going to say that like it's a fact. Just all the evidence. It's like if you lied to me 7 times and then you tell me, no, you have to believe me because I lied 7 times, but this time I'm really telling the truth. I'm not going to believe you. Like, you've so far lost my trust. Like, if you can't preserve a tape of the greatest feat in American history and not tape over it or lose it, and you're $1 billion, like literally, guys. Someone said, look into the secret space program. Yeah, I've seen it, but I don't really believe that either, to be honest. But do you guys not get that? Because I just want people who believe in all this stuff. Oh, Sue, thank you so much. You're going nutty. Thank you so much. God bless you. Do you think a billion, like they're not just your friend down the street, they get billions of dollars a year, and they taped over or lost the original tape? It's insane. Hold on. I'm going to read a new one about, and then we're going to move on because I'm getting too controversial, but let's talk about climate change. I've been a climate change believer my whole life. Yeah, thank you so much, Sue. You're incredible. I believed in climate change my whole life, and I've always been an environmentalist. I still am. I'm just an honest one now. This is from December 13th, 2018. This is not from a conspiracy website. This isn't Breitbart. This isn't Fox News. This isn't InfoWars. This isn't anything that a leftist would try to shut down. This is NASA, government website, climate.nasa.gov. Antarctica's contribution to sea level rise was mitigated by snowfall, and they show a huge map of Antarctica, and it's growing in ice in almost every region around the side, and it's only melting in 3 regions. So it looks like it's growing more ice than it's melting via the thing. In the spots where it's melting, it's been confirmed by another news source that there's active volcanoes there. So it's not that crazy. So listen what I'm saying, guys. It's just crazy to me because people will call me like a conspiracy theorist, and I'm reading their own website. This is directly from NASA government climate website. This is direct. Listen. Snowfall is very difficult to measure over Antarctica. For starters, there are very few weather stations in the frozen continent, and most of them are installed along the coastline. Secondly, satellites have a hard time measuring snow from space. They basically confuse the snow on the ground. They basically confuse the snow that's falling down with the snow that's already on the ground. Climate models struggle to replicate the total amount of snow that falls over Antarctica each year. So scientists often have to rely on ice cores, cylinders of drilled ice drilled from the ice sheet whose layers store a trove of information, amongst it how much snow fell in a certain year or decade. But drilling ice cores is logistically challenging, so they are sparse and do not cover the entire continent. This is NASA admitting to you that they don't know what's going on. Literally, they're like, we only measure the coastlines, and even some of the coastlines are melting. Some of the coastlines aren't melting. We can't measure the snowfall. They've reported a few years ago that there's more ice gaining and that it's being mitigated. Like I don't want to say it's a hoax, but do the math, guys. People are like, no, it's really clear-cut science. No, this is the most credible source in climate, according to leftists, and they're telling you that they're not quite sure what's going on. It's in their own words. They're like, we're only measuring the coastlines. If I measure the coastline of this, the ends are going to be warmer and the center is going to be cooler. If it's ice, that's obvious. That's common sense. That's why they don't want you to have it. If you don't have common sense, they can lie to you about the climate. They can lie to you about Antarctica. They can lie to you about the moon, and they could lie to you about Mars, and they could lie to you about Jussie Smollett, and they could lie to you about blasey, blasey, blasey. They don't want you to have a brain or common sense, and they don't want you to look for evidence or respect yourself. Because if you respect yourself, you won't let people disrespect you. But if you don't even respect yourself, you're going to let people walk all over you. Chris Sherman said, I still have the VHS sex tapes I had with my ex 24 years ago. Haven't lost them yet. That's good, Chris. So I just want to read that again for any leftist who ever questions me. This is 3 months ago from NASA. Snowfall is very difficult to measure over Antarctica. For starters, there are very few weather stations in the frozen continent, and most of them are installed along the coastline. This isn't the total of the earth. They don't know what's going on. They have no idea. That's why it's pouring rain in Los Angeles and we're flooding. That's why there's epic snowstorms that are colder than anywhere. It's not warming. It's not a product of war. It's the climate is shifting like it always does. There are volcanoes. There's the sun. The whole space narrative doesn't make any sense. And the bigger picture is we're not quite in control. And they want you looking at the stars and the moon all the time, because then you'll never study the ocean, and you'll find out that over 80% of the ocean, if not 80 to 95%, is undetected, undiscovered, in many parts unmapped. We don't even know what's going on this planet. So we might be being controlled by a whole nother species. Who knows? We might not even be in control on this planet. But these are conversations that they don't want you to have. The whole climate change, you notice now with Cortez and the UN and the EU, they never say plant trees. They never say to, cut back from China. They never have the solution, which literally would be more trees and, common sense stuff that everybody can do that didn't affect their lives. They don't care about the climate. They don't care about green stuff, really. They want money. They want power and control. You notice, we need to do this. Okay, how are you going to do it? We need more money. You already have money. New Jersey and California are going crazy with these loony leftists who tax, rain tax, gas tax, this tax, that tax. They won't stop. They just want money, and they don't handle their money. It's like you have a crackhead friend who you gave $10,000 to, and he wasted it all at the casino. And then he comes back and he's like, I need more money. And then liberals are like, well, I support the LGBT community and I don't like Christians, so I'm going to do it. You're being played. The Democrats are your crackhead friends who spend all your money, mismanage it, ruin you, and then want more money. They're insane. Greg Wilkes said, what about the Weather Channel dude saying it's fake? Yeah, a scientist and the CEO of the Weather Channel has said that it's a total fake. He went on CNN and said it's fake, and they had nothing to debate him. He explained that 90-something% of the scientists that they hire, they won't hire you unless you agree with their narrative. It's like if they said 95% of NBC and CBS and CNN think that Trump's guilty of the Russia. That's not science. It means that 95% of the people who got hired are total liars. And that's what happens with a lot of these science government things. Before Trump got in, I know people who work in science. He's like, my friend was all mad. He's like, Trump made us look at our data. And he's like, Trump's doing all this crazy stuff. And I was like, why would Trump do that? And my friend admitted to me, he's like, well, we have manipulated data before. You talk to teachers and what's the gold standard? What do they call it? Peer review. They're literally, they're such psychopaths. You can pass Mein Kampf, Hitler's Mein Kampf, if you change the Hitler Germans to feminists and you change the Jew to the white man. They literally think Mein Kampf is impressive if you change it from a feminist anti-white perspective. They've done that. The whole science and the education industry has been cultural Marx times 10 million. So it doesn't matter that 95% of people at CNN said that it doesn't matter. They're all liars, and they don't hire you if you're not a liar. Bex Fire said, I'm going to read some super chats. Whoa, you're going nuts, dude. Thank you so much. Holy mackerel. Bex Fire said, watch YouTuber collaborative learning analysis of 2001 A Space Odyssey, in which Kubrick, who was hired for the space program propaganda, apparently left visual clues not to trust the propaganda. I'll check it out. Thank you. Sue, God bless you. You're going ham tonight. Wow. You're the new legend. You're the new InfoWars bear. Above Majestic said environmentalism is the new communism. For sure. And it's tough to say because I believe in there's a good guy who I think it was Dave Rubin had him on. He was making the case that environmentalism has actually turned into anti-humanism. And you start to see that, like the New York Times, they did an article where they said, would human extinction be good for humanity? It's pro-human extinction. They're anti-human. I want to save the planet. I want to save people, but they're actually trying to make the case if there were no people that the animals would thrive and succeed. And there would be they're literally anti-human. And I'm not trying to exaggerate. They don't care about economics. They don't care about science. That's why I'm so hard on the right wing when they lie. And people say, Anomaly, is this your hill to die on? It's my hill to live on. I'm thriving. But yeah, it is, because I'm holding the left wing. I like to hold the right wing accountable, because if you lie in pursuit of thinking you're so great, you're eventually going to be a left wing psycho, because they think that the environment's so important. Their agenda is so important that they can ignore logic and reason and common sense and facts. They don't care about it in pursuit of false virtue. So when I see the right wing do the same thing and they're like, well, they're bad people, so I'm allowed to lie at them and exaggerate and get them kicked off Twitter. No, you're not. I'm a real patriot. You're a cuck-servative. You're a liar. You get the big speeches. They let you on Fox News, and then you cuck out when it comes to real free speech and real American patriot values. I'm not a cuck. So when I see conservatives like, oh no, we're allowed to go against free speech now because we really don't like them. Anomaly. No, you don't understand. They're a bad person. So tell the truth about how bad they are and what they're doing bad. Don't lie. Well, anomaly, I'm allowed to lie because I'm such a good person and they're not. So even when they're right and I'm wrong, I could say they're wrong and I'm right. No, you can't. Right wingers? No, you can't. Zach C 1189P said, look into the pole shifting at 34 miles per year and steadily moving quicker, converging near the Philippines. Yeah, I've heard that. The poles are moving. Earth is crazy, man. Like, there's definitely some stuff going on. The climate's definitely changing. The poles are definitely shifting. The sun is in control. You know, there's real stuff going on with the climate and humanity. We need to pay attention to what we're doing. We need to pay attention to pollution. We need to make a healthier community. We need to look into better energies. I'm a real environmentalist, just like I'm a real conservative by not being one. I'm a real patriot by not lying about it. We need to evolve our energy. We need to do this stuff, but not by giving the government all the money, power, and control. And if there's new evidence that says the poles are shifting, the climate's getting colder, Antarctica's not melting, we have to embrace that science. It's science. If Orville Wright, Tommy said, may the Father of the undivided light bless you. God bless. In Jesus' name, amen. If Orville and Wilbur Wright said, I can fly a plane, and 99% of the scientists on the planet said, no, you guys can't. It's not possible. The science is already settled. You can't fly a plane. And then they go fly a plane. What matters? The fact that 99 cucks said that they can't fly a plane? Or the fact that the two legends, the Wright brothers, if that even happened, I don't even believe history, but they flew the plane because they're not cucks. So it doesn't matter. I don't care. That's like, well, anomaly. All these people said this. Well, they're all cucks and they don't know what they're talking about. So I don't care that they all lied to you. I told the truth. Not everyone's a legend. Not everyone's a Kim Jong-un or a Trump or Dennis Rodman or Kanye West. Like, who cares what they say? Oh, they said Kanye. Well, too bad. They're not right. Orville, not everyone builds planes. Bex Fire said, regarding supposed anthropogenic climate change, check out WUWT. What's up with that? There's stuff going on, folks, for sure. I'm not a denier in science, but when there's literal science and they're like, oh, no, not that science. We like political propaganda science. We don't like science. Like, okay. Look at France. The rural people can't afford to work in the city with the fuel taxes. The globalists want to herd everyone in the cities, trap them. It's all a scam. France, people are like, it works. Bernie Sanders is like, dude, the socialism works so well in France, Germany, the UK, Sweden. No, it doesn't, Cucky Sanders. Sweden's having bombings every single weekend now. It's like bomb, 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 rape, bomb, bomb, bomb. Every European I talk to, they're like, la, la, la. And then I'm like, someone said, is Sue Rosanna your mom? No, I don't think so. But I talked to every European and I'm like, is there a problem with mass refugee immigration? They're like, oh yeah, it's getting horrible. Every country's suffering it. They're like, yeah, we give away a lot of free stuff and everybody takes advantage of it. They all know it. And Bernie's like, it's working so well in France. No, it's not, Bernie. The city's on fire because no one has any money because you're stealing 45% of their money in this global scheme. Oh, it's so good in Sweden. No, it's not, Bernie. You want me to read the hundreds of grenade attacks and bombings they had? Bernie panders. It's working so well in UK and Germany. No, it's not. It's not working. It's backfiring because leftists are total pushovers. And honestly, right-wingers disappointed me this week too. They were like, oh, don't talk about that. It's like, we're going to talk about it, folks. And you're not going to silence me. Third story of the day. That's enough about NASA for one night. But Mars, not having such a good week. Antarctica, they're lying. All right, let's talk about Amazon, New York City, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez clash. So we're coming off of, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, Governor Cuomo said that the city was negative, down $2.3 billion, so that their tax revenues are way down. Now they're going to be down even lower because everybody's scaring away all the billionaires. We want to tax the 70%. We're going to tax all the billionaires, 70, 80%. Guess what, Bernie? They'll move from Vermont. They'll move from New York City. They'll move from California. They'll move from America. They don't have to be here. If I have $43 billion and the government tries to take $40 billion, I'm out. Peace, bro. I'm going to the Philippines. I'm going anywhere. Swiss, anywhere. France is united left and right. Yeah, they're united because they screwed up so much. Now they are. But guess what? In America, we're not united because we don't want to go there. If we go there, we'll all be in the streets. But we're not going to go there. We're not going to have to march in the streets because we're not letting our country get to the point of France. So yeah, France is united because they screwed up and screwed up and screwed up and screwed up and screwed up till everyone's like, oh, wait, I'm poor. Let's not do that. We can be united. Let's unite and win. France is uniting and losing. Let's unite and win. We're the biggest country. We have the strongest military. We have one of the best economies in world history. Let's not go there. We don't have to go there. Unite behind the legends who are trying to lower taxes and cut off globalism and stop the wars, aka Trump. He's not perfect, but he's doing a damn good job. Let's move on. This is from Vanity Fair. I never thought I'd be quoting them like a legit news organization, but they did a pretty good article on this. Who is it? By Bess Levin. Good job, Bess Levin. You look like a real winner. And that's not a mean thing. I'm being serious. You did a good article. Happy Valentine's Day. Bezos dumps New York in second major breakup of the year. It's not me, it's you. After informing okay, I don't want to read into all that drama. So, in a statement announcing that it would be canceling its plans for a new corporate campus in New York City, Amazon wrote, after much thought and deliberation, we've decided to not move forward with our plans to build a headquarters for Amazon in Long Island City, Queens. For Amazon, the commitment to build a headquarters requires positive, collaborative relationships with state and local elected officials who will be supportive over the long term. While polls show that 70% of New Yorkers support our plans and investment, a number of state and local politicians have made it clear that they oppose our presence and will not work with us to build the type of relationships that are required to go forward with the project we and many others envision for Long Island City. So a lot of these socialist, far left, Democratic, whatever you want to call them, they scared Amazon out. I mean, I'm not trying to back Amazon up because I'm not a huge Amazon fan. I'm not a huge Bezos fan. I do feel like they're not although I will say that the service is just incredible for how terrible of an organization they probably are in how they treat their people. Man, they ship things fast and everything's really cheap on there. You know, I can't knock it. They do a good job. It's like at your house the next day. You're like, how did that happen? It's like you got people peeing in water bottles. They're like, quick, get the ridiculous. But this is the problem with far left economics. And I've heard no good rationalizations for why I'm wrong. And I would love to have a debate over it. If you try to raise the tax and you don't want to work with people, like Trump's trying to lower taxes and strike deals, over time, it's going to create billions of dollars in revenue, in taxes, in jobs. Like that's a win for the country. You take a hit because we have trillions of dollars. We could do tax breaks. Like there's studies, and I mean, you could look into them yourself, but sometimes in U.S. history, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we lowered taxes, we got more revenue. Sometimes when you raise taxes, you actually get lower revenue because you scare all the businesses away. It's happening in California now where businesses are rapidly leaving. Wealthy people are leaving. And if someone like Ocampo Cortez gets in, all the wealthy billionaires are going to do what Jeff Bezos said and say, peace. Why would you want to pay 70% to the government? And my problem is the government will spend $10 billion in an hour. They don't need any more money from me or other people. What they need is to be held accountable. They need someone like a Rand Paul at a high level position being like, listen, stop wasting money. Stop just wasting billions of dollars. And before we give you more money, like your crackhead friend, spend the money you already have properly. But they have this idea. They're like, we hate Amazon. I get it. I understand big corporations can be corrupt, but you know what's worse than having Amazon and Apple and a strong capitalist economy like America? You know what's worse? Having a totally failed economy where no one can find jobs, where there's not more jobs available, where Black, Hispanic, white, Latino, disability, women's unemployment's at an all-time low. You think it's bad with the Amazons and Apples? Just wait till you scare them all away. It's going to be so much worse. And I don't want it to happen, but that's the beautiful thing about states. If California keeps screwing up, it's going to happen here, and I'm going to dip out. If New York keeps screwing up, they're already screwing up. They're $2.3 billion less. They blame Trump, and maybe it's true, but if someone like Ocasio-Cortez gets power, Cuomo, it's funny, they've caught themselves in a pickle. Cuomo is so scared, or Cuomo, whatever it is. I want 3 Cuomos to go. Now, Cuomo's so scared. He said in the article, he's like, we don't want to scare our rich people away. Because Cuomo, while he is a little bit probably not the most honest guy, he's not a total dummy. And he realizes that the wealthy pay a huge chunk of all the taxes. So if you don't have the 1%, most of your taxes don't get paid. And then you have to gouge the middle class, which is what happens every single time socialism comes. It never works. Cuomo knows that, but Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez doesn't know that. So she's like, no, we don't need Amazon. We don't need the billionaires. We're going to take their money. They're going to leave. And you're going to have she doesn't understand economics at all. And I don't even care anymore. To be honest, let it burn. That's what you get, Democratic Party. When you lie to your constituents, when you lie on television show, when you lie on late night shows, when you bash half the country, when you hate white people, when you hate men, when you hate traditional families, when you hate Christians, when you hate every Black, Hispanic, and female person who doesn't agree with you, when you hate everybody and you lie to everybody for 2 years and go further and further and further, that's what you get. You get an communist Cortez taking over your party, taking over your state, and metaphorically burning it to the ground. I don't feel bad for you, Cuomo. You asked for this, bro. He used to be friends with Donald Trump. I was just reading Art of the Deal at a bookstore, and it literally, he said Cuomo's a good guy. Trump used to be friends with all these people, and then he wasn't even looking for a fight with Hill. He was like, hey, just let me do my thing, and they couldn't let him do it. And now they're going to get taken over by the communists and the socialists, and the whole thing is going to collapse. And it's not going to happen to the whole country. We're not letting it happen. So if they choose to crush their own states, so be it. If they choose to crush their own party, so be it. But you're not going to crush me. You're not going to crush my family. You're not going to crush my friends. You know what? I'm not even going to let you guys crush these states because there's millions of people who can't leave. So if you go there, if you build it, they will come. If you build a communist socialist structure of scaring away multi-billion-dollar corporations, you'll find out what happens when the government gets all the money, power, and control and tries to level the playing field. It's not going to work. It doesn't work anywhere. Every time you vote in a Democrat, they steal your money. Republicans suck too, but they suck out less of your money. It's like, do you want a little leech or do you want a big fat leech that says, ooh, blackface, and they steal your money? I'll take the small leech for 500, Bill. Give me a Rand Paul in every 50 state. InfoWars Bear, welcome. You got blown out of the water today, InfoWars Bear. Sue Van House is the new legend. Sorry, InfoWars Bear. She just went absolutely crazy. She gave 3 payments of $99.99. Sue, God bless you. We're going to do a lesson in communism too. YouTube takes 30%. The government's going to take 30%. It's communist. I'm only going to see about 150, I think. It's a shame, but it's okay. It's still more than I had before I started. InfoWars Bear said, Heard, I got a shout out. Sue rules. Oh, there it is. Anomaly should run for Congress. Sorry, InfoWars Bear. I didn't mean to throw a jab at you. I just think it's funny. Anomaly should run for Congress to expose the 3 million illegal votes exposed. California is a disease spreading by the country. I'll do what I can, but yeah, Sue's a legend. I'm glad I did this stream. I almost took a nap. What do we got? I'm reading. So I'm going to probably cut this one off pretty early. We'll stay for a few more minutes. Overall, I said what I need to say. I mean, I understand corporations are corrupt. They do need to be held accountable. But progressives need to understand, or they don't. Like I said, just let it burn. If that's what you want, let it burn. But it's not going to work out. There's a difference between projection and reality. There's a difference between understanding things and not. Although I will say, the progressives, I'm starting to see now, I'm like, everybody plays a role. I'm not mad at the progressives anymore. They annoy me a lot, but I see it. Everyone plays a role in this world, and they're clearly not the economics of the world, but they do something that right-wingers don't do. I've been talking about it a lot, but I'm like, okay, progressives, I see it. I see what's going on here. You're playing that role. I'll play this role, someone else plays that role, and we'll all meet in heaven, hopefully. Heaven on earth. Heaven, heaven on earth. I'll take a few questions before I leave, and then I'm going to roll out and have fun. Well, I'll play my new song real quick, and then or maybe I'll just take a few questions. What do you guys think? Any good questions at the end? Corporations are corrupt, but the government is more corrupt. Government blows up everything. Like, if you think the health industry is bad, wait till government gets a hold of it. If you think corporations are bad, wait until they leave your country, or they leave your state, and then you have not enough money to pay for all of these things that you want to pay for. Nicholas Clinton said, "How do we stop the Dems from rigging the 2020 election?" It's a good question, but I would say stay on your toes. But also, this is something that I'm not a politician. You're not a politician. The Republican Party should spend a lot of effort and resources making sure they don't steal the election. I don't know how, but they should be on this now. And a lot of GOP and conservatives are getting frustrated because it seems like the GOP is not doing that much. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the biggest movements are not even coming from the GOP. It's coming from like people on the ground and like independent journalists. It's like, dude, what are you guys doing? I know you're doing something, but it's like they need to really watch, and Trump better have his ducks in a row because they will try to rig. And I mean, literally they've proven, and I always give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's so clear to me that they don't care about anything. Like, fool me once, shame on me, you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 10,000 times. Like, I'm never going to believe you again. That's my thing. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 10,000 times. I'm not going to ever believe anything you say again. I have no faith in the fact that you won't try to rig the election, that you won't cheat, that you won't rig the media, that you won't install some sort of phony government to try to stop the president from succeeding, to throw every wrench at him. I don't believe you. You need more people, said Jay-Z. InfoWars Bear said, please consult Owen. He needs hugs. He has a wife on Valentine's Day. He'll be fine. But turn my phone on. All right, this one's going to be a short one. Thank you, guys. This was overwhelmingly amazing. Sue Van House, you are a legend. God bless you, Sue. You're getting your own prayer. God bless you, Sue. God bless your family, Sue. God bless America, Sue, and God bless the world. Sue Van House, you are today's top legend. You're the most legendary person yet. Sorry, InfoWars Bear. You've been, I guess everything comes at a price, InfoWars Bear, and Sue just bought you out. No, I'm just playing. But thank you so much, Sue. That's incredibly nice of you. And overall, God bless everybody. God bless America. God bless your family. God bless the world. We'll say a prayer real quick. Everything happens for a reason. You know, the communists, the socialists, the right-wingers, the far right, the centrists, the libertarians, the independents, the people who don't even pay attention to politics. Everybody plays a role here on this earth. God doesn't make mistakes. The universe doesn't make mistakes. Earth is a very, very vast power that we really don't understand and we can't control no matter how much we think we can. Although our thoughts and our prayers and our manifestations can create something very, very real, and we can alter the course of, you know, this world in a beautiful way. So let's focus on doing that. Let's focus internally. Let's change ourselves to change the world. The more you heal yourself, the more you help yourself, the more you really, you know, keep it real with yourself, then you'll start to see the truth everywhere else, and you'll start to really be able to be effective in the outside world. So let's start internally and then take that energy like a mirror and zap it out on the world and wake everybody up with blessings and love, not with darkness and hate and ignorance and hypocrisy. That's what we don't do here. So God bless you guys. God bless the world. And let's bring that energy into 2019. This is legendary energy. We're doing things that no one's ever done before. We're breaking records. We're changing matrices completely. We're reshifting into a more healthy society. It's spreading throughout like wildfire. It's electricity. This is something that not even Nikola Tesla could have planned. It's zapping computer to computer to cell phone, and the social engineers can't figure out what's going on. They have billions of dollars. They have all the money, power, and resources. They're like, why can't I do this? I have everything. I have the featured news section. I have Google algorithms. I have the search results, and they still can't win. And they're ending up confused and unliked, and nobody likes what they're doing. Why? I'm so powerful, but it's because God and the truth and wisdom is a pillar that doesn't move, and lies always crumble. It's like building your house out of paper mache. It's going to crumble. It's like building a house out of straw. No disrespect to the straw man, but we have more than 10. Okay, this isn't the Wizard of Oz. We have a hard pillar that is standing billions of dollars. The world elites, the liars, the manipulators, and truth will win. Love will win. God will win. And we're proving that every day. God bless you guys. I'm out.